geen process.
All artists have their stories. For me, Sam Drukker's story is about the tension between perfection and imperfection.
Hey, dat is leuk. Sam vanuit het raam.
His daily work is maybe about searching imperfection and playing with it. He relies on it.
I like dirtiness. I like when parts are dirty. It's the extreme combination of dirt
And clean. That clean pink. And yeah.
I'm afraid of that white canvas, he said. Long ago he found a solution and used rough materials like tarpaulin and pieces of used wood. As soon as he finds a suitable underlayer, he's already halfway through the process.
I used to work on all kinds of materials I find in the street, in a container. I have friends in the harbor here in Amsterdam, and he sometimes calls me, I have something for you. All kinds of textiles, shutter against the sun, sails, tents out of the army, all kinds of material which has already a color, but or textures, or more important, a history. A history you don't know, but you can read half of it, most of it, sometimes nothing. But there's something there. There was a use of the material, and you sometimes know something about it, but not so much. And that's the main starting point. So I don't want to disturb much. I mean, this is a piece of wood I got from a friend who's a carpenter. It has two sides, of course, and this was nice as well, very nice. Yeah. But for him, it's rubbish. And what he did something in black, and after that he cleaned his brush.
Oh yeah.
And that gives it a little bit a white wash, gloomy, a little bit something normally I don't want in my painting, but it was very interesting. The black composition is like an abstract painting of Franz Klein-like painting. So that's the starting point, and it was in this case it was very central. It was like a bash, an explosion. punt achter, denk ik. I'm searching for a unity. I don't want to cover with a lot of paint, with a skin of paint, the material, because I need it for my composition. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. It was already on the wood, and it's a game. It's an improvisation.
Yeah. So it's a game with a piece that you found somewhere, and something tells you that you could use it. And it's a game with it's a large part. You have the feeling that you are always almost halfway through the process when you start, because there is already paint on this piece of wood. But I know that you like to draw with ink and a piece of wood as well, instead of a expensive, very good
match
pencil or a match. Yeah. So, and is that the reason for that you search a certain resistance in that game?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of. I spent a lot of energy to become a skillful artist. I want to know about form and tonality and composition. The more I know, the better it becomes, I thought. And that's in a way true, but very nice are the things you don't control. So to try to control a line, a drawing, a body, a model, with a material which doesn't work with you, a little bit against sometimes. You know, if you have a stick and there's too much ink on the stick, and you have too much ink where you start, and then later it becomes too. It's a fantastic line, and then after 2 seconds, the ink is gone. So that's you have something to you have to use that. Mm-hmm. So you think, where do I need at the first moment much ink? And this special, very fine line near your face, I start doing this when there's a little bit ink gone. So it's nice. Yeah. To make it yourself difficult. Yeah. Yeah. And this has become your way of working. Does it feel like something you own now? No. No, because then it's becoming as easy as working with a very expensive match. So you keep searching, maybe, that's what I expect. You keep searching for that resistance. I was not searching for a gimmick. You know, no, that's not a gimmick, of course. It's the result of you know, if I make drawings, I really like the old-fashioned pen and ink, the old-fashioned pen where we used to write with. Yeah. It gives fantastic, elegant, smooth lines, and I love it. I did a lot of model drawings. There are some framed in the back. But sometimes for some subjects, you don't want that the beauty. You want to reach the right lines, to touch the right lines. But it's nice if there's something happening. Yeah, I don't know why it is. It's destruction. It has to do with destruction as well. Yeah, yeah. And you don't remember anymore how you found this? Well, I have an uncle. He was an artist. He's dead, and he used to work with matches and ink.
Oh, really?
So it was his idea, and of course it wasn't his idea in the 50s.
No.
But I mean, a lot of artists, if you work with a bamboo pen and ink, it's a bit the same.
Quite similar. Yeah. Yeah.
But the bamboo pen is made to make it to be a little bit comfortable, and I like less comfortable.
Yeah. And that working on different kind of materials.
Layers, yeah.
That began after this drawing with matches?
No, this started, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It has to do, actually I found some bags, mail bags, you know, the Dutch mail bags where there's a flag and letters written on the bag.
Yeah.
Where they transport the mail. And I thought, hey, this is very cheap, very good material. I'm going to use it as a painting. And then I'm going to paint it white, and I have very strong material. But before I painted white, I thought, this is nice, this is funny. I'm going to try to make my three-dimensional painting on the two-dimensional canvas with the letters through, and it's a little bit a play as well.
Yeah.
And the same time I did my exam at the art school with watercolor. So I was taught by using the white paper as a material, mixing with water. So if you want light blue, you use blue with a lot of water. And it was a fantastic combination with my way of, when I started to paint in oil, I used very little oil.
But when you graduated, there was an art school where they taught watercolor painting?
Yeah, well, of course both. I did oil as well, but in the last 2 years I had to choose a teacher who was doing my exams. My mentor, but my ideal mentor stopped then, so I had to choose someone else, and it was a watercolor artist.
And then you were supposed to make watercolor paintings as well.
Yeah, that's funny, because nowadays I'm a teacher and I do it. I don't tell them what to do.
He told you to make watercolor paintings.
I don't know.
You don't
I don't
remember
know.
that
Maybe
anymore.
it was. I found it logical.
Yeah.
But of course, you choose a teacher.
Yeah.
Who can learn you something.
Yeah.
So maybe I didn't think of doing something else.
And you were not used yet to watercolor paint.
Yes, I was as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't.
But
do
actually,
them anymore,
I still paint with. I do paint with oil.
Yeah, in a
watercolor way.
Yeah, and you don't have watercolor paint. You don't have watercolor paint over here in your studio.
No.
Don't you miss it?
No.
No.
No. Not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the history of the material is something nice. I mean, we were talking about destruction. Of course, it's dirty. It's sometimes broken, half broken, and this not perfect material. It's fantastic. As an artist, you want something which is happening, and when it's already there in your layer, why don't you use it?
It sounds logic. Yeah.
I hate white canvas.
Okay. Yeah. I still buy it, but it's very expensive.
And it's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
And this
days.
I find in a container.
Yeah. Yeah. And you never are afraid of clients that will return after 15 or 20 years complaining that the paint is falling off.
It's prepared, of course.
Okay.
With the glue, 3 times, a transparent, matte glue, so you don't see it. And it will take years.
Yeah.
If you see a painting on oak wood from Jan van Eyck,
it's still there.
You don't think, this...
No, I was in doubt because there is already paint on it and you don't know what paint and what quality.
That's true, but I use so little paint.
Yeah. So there is this game, and I heard you telling about this earlier, and I saw it also in the way you work. There is a very, very, very strong focus, and you work fast.
Yeah.
And I heard you tell about your way of working in a podcast, an interview, where you even told us that there seems to be a certain ritual I remember you start reading in the morning, like a meditation, then that focus will be there.
Yeah.
And then you start at 12 p.m. and you work until...
No, I'm here very early, and I read
Okay.
not more than half an hour. But it's like others do yoga. I don't. But it's reading. It's fantastic because I read now so much.
Yeah.
And it was a wish during years. That's another advantage. But then it makes me empty in my head, or not empty, but then filled with ideas out of the book. And then I start painting, and I have nice music. After a good coffee, I have beautiful music, and I'm gone. And I don't work long, not more than 2 hours, I think, a day.
Really?
Yeah. Because the concentration has to be so extreme that I'm completely broken after.
Okay, so there wasn't even never a moment that you tried to stretch
Of course.
out? Okay.
Of course I did. I worked very long, a whole day, because I was not satisfied with the painting, and I thought I'm going to make it better, and that for hours. And then in the end, I was very angry because I had a terrible painting, and maybe 2 good paintings underneath.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
frustrating.
I learned that I have to do little. I have to do just a short time, little things, and then stop and watch, because that's for me very important. You have an idea. I want to make a portrait. I want to come very close to you because I'm going to make a portrait of you. So I have to be very humble to reach that, and it's a concentration, and it asks a lot of me. And it's about tonality and form and color and rhythm and composition. That's what I get from the original, from the example,
subject, yeah.
subject. But as soon as something happens on your canvas or on your material, you have to change. It's not the model who tells you what to do. It's your painting what tells you to do, and that's very complex, because you were so instructed by taking it from that for hours that you forget to see what is happening. So if there's something happening, maybe it's not correct, but it's nice because it does something with the movement of these expressionist lines. I can keep it, but for another reason. And this is fantastic. This is the improvisation I always do. I mean, this was an accident. But I think I leave it. I mean, I'm still doubting, but I leave it like this. And it's full of this kind of struggle. Does it fit in the reality? Does it help me to make it more realistic? Or does it help me to make a more harmonious painting? And that's my game.
Yeah. So it's complex. It's a game. It's fragile, because you told that you had days that there were several layers over the best part. And then there is that subject, that's you today, that's the example that you're working from. And there is this result that has to show a painting and not only Sam Drukker.
Yeah.
And maybe Sam Drukker is that result that we see.
Yeah.
In not too many layers.
Because I learned more and more that to work shortly works better. Because you never lose the best moments in your painting. If you keep distance after half an hour, go to the toilet or have another coffee, or work on another work. That I work on several works at the same time. To keep the quality in the painting, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. That's because I'm really happy if I see a quality in the painting which I didn't do myself.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because actually you say that there is something that guides you.
Of course.
and that's not you, but that is what you see, what you're doing, what happens.
Yeah, it is me in the beginning. It is 100% me, and that's why I call it. I'm humble to that.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking, well, I don't like this gray thing. I make it green. It's completely against my principles. Because the moment I think I'm going to paint this subject with this light, with this starting point of view, in this moment of the day, with in this mood I have now, then I'm really stuck on that. But as soon as something happening here, and of course because I have already a painting on the layer, this helps me. What do I take now? I take the reality, but I don't take everything, and that's what I do. I mean, it helps me to in my movement of the hand, especially this Franz Klein painting. And sometimes, if this is also a shutter, it's very clean. There's a little bit a movement, a part which is darker, but that's it. That's why I let him have this in the back. So there's always a little story. Mm-hmm. This is little, and the tonality and the color, but this is much more.
Yeah.
And maybe therefore I like self-portraits, because I don't care. And if people say, "Oh, this is you," so okay, are you happy? You know, they are afraid that I'm really in the bed.
It's a frequently asked question.
Of course, but I mean, I don't care. It's not. I'm not thinking what mood am I going to show you. It is. You see a painter who is concentrated.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And it might tell something about me, but I'm not working after that. I'm not thinking it's an introvert person. I have to, or extrovert. I don't have extrovert paint. You know, it's color, tonality,
yeah,
form.
Yeah.
That's my language.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm interested in the meaning, mm-hmm. but I'm not working after a meaning.
No. And as a painter who paints humans, you surely will meet people who want a portrait or something like that. I think you need to do this a lot, don't you?
You mean
as labor, as work, or is that wrong?
You mean commissions?
Yeah,
I do commissions. I always have commissions, but I keep it like my free work is always 50%. Yeah. I keep a profession as an artist, as a free artist, and as a artist who works in commissions.
Yeah, and at working in commissions, your approach to those kind of paintings, is that quite similar?
Yeah, because I never in exhibitions sometimes, but mostly I never show commissions. So I want people to see my work, what I do for myself, and then I want them to say, "Hey, do you want to? Can you paint my mother-in-law?"
And then they know.
Because they like my work I make for myself, and then I think, well, then I like to do it. But if you have a commission and you show a commission and you get another commission because of that commission, and after that commission you get another, then your work becomes, maybe that's a danger,
further away from you, from some some's way of working. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You won't see in my last catalogue, 100 works, there are only 2 commissions printed.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking now, quite personal, but could it be possible? It's a strange question. I don't know if we are going to use this question, but it's what I'm thinking now. Could it be possible that your approach to those commissions could be the same as working on such a rough piece of wood, in the way that you have to deal with a different kind of people than you, and a different kind of expectations and watching, and then there is a game as well.
it's very hard. I mean, of course, I work if I have a commission. I also work on old materials. In that it don't change. And I ask them, give me the freedom. I make something, and if you don't want to have it, you don't need to buy it. It's all a trick. These are all tricks to make it, maybe to give myself more freedom. I don't know if it works. It won't work completely because there's always. But people say, yeah, but I like your work, but I don't want an orange painting. Oh yeah. Or not too dark. Or there are people who like the woods, so they say, oh yes, take your freedom, and then still it's not the same. No, it's not the same. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes I have the courage to take risk, and sometimes it works and sometimes not. Yeah.
While I was observing what you were doing here, of course, it's very interesting when you are painting yourself, and then I was asking myself, is there a certain order in your way of painting that you use in every painting? Is there a method? Because you speak like a totally free painter who let it appear.
Yeah, well, I already explained that I have something before doing anything about this explosion. That's something, and the hand of the brush. But after that, I really like to start with tonality. So I have pincers on my eyes, and I only see the form, the shape of tonality, of a unity of tone, and that's what I do. That's free as well, because I just put my my brush here, and you make the shape bigger, and you give it a direction, and you go until where you think I have to stop. And I mean the tonal imprimatur, I call this, underlayer. Underpainting is actually holy, because it binds, and it's not about drawing, but it's about mass. And I feel free that moment. But later I do more like concrete, like a part orange, a part green. Then it's really like, now I'm going to place in one go the under part of the nose. But that comes later. And in general, I want to do as less as possible. And my ideal is to do as less as possible and tell as much as possible. I needed relatively much work here for this painting. Mm. But in the end, I found again a radicality in the way of the movement of the brush, which connects very nice the Franz Klein of the layer. So yeah, of course, these things are the last things to do.
The definition.
It's from dark to light.
Yeah, so you have to wait with those details.
Yeah, I know already where the light is, but I never start with it, of course. It's like baking a cake. People like to start with the cream and the cherry on top, but it's stupid. I mean, you have to bake a cake first. Yeah. Who's nice, who tastes good. Yeah. And if you made it, you have a good cake. You hardly need the cream. Yeah. Nor the cherry.
No, this is a cake with a good cake with a cherry and a cream on it. Yeah, maybe this is very nice cream. That cream over here. Yeah.
And it's always dangerous because it's so nice to reach the cream.
I can imagine that. Yeah, because you're not afraid to use pure white, even on that head over here.
Yeah. And there's always the danger. I mean, I know it. There's always this teacher standing as a bird on my shoulder. Watch out, the highest light. Watch out. Okay. I'm very happy if I don't need it in the end. No, but I wanna scream in a way from the roof. but I'm glad if I don't need to. I like dirtiness. I like when parts are dirty. It's the extreme combination of dirt and
clean. That clean pink and that makes it very tasty. That cake.
A high quality color is brighter, works fantastic if there's a lot of dirty color
mud
around.
Yeah.
Every painter knows that.
Yeah. So and that reading in the morning, you've been reading a lot now so far, and are there books that you can really recommend to your students that help in this creative process? Are these books that you read for this process?
No, it's not about painting. Sometimes I read books from interviews with David Hockney. Now I have something of Frank Auerbach, but a lot of books I read are really literature. Dostoevsky, it's about Russian writers about World War II. It helps in a way. Beside the concentration, it makes you see things are bigger than the daily paper I read as well, and that gives a freedom as well.
Are there more things in that daily routine that really help you or that you need to get in the good mood?
It's all about concentration, and I compare it more and more with people in sport, because also if you have a headache, or you have too much in your head, you have a party and you have to buy several things and you make the list while you're painting, it's not good. Then then you have to stop painting. Everything has to be fine. You must not have stomach pain in your stomach or physical problems. I mean, be clever and don't work if you. I very often I make my self-portraits. When I wanted originally a huge project, everything was ready. I had my models, I had the canvas already. I had the whole composition found out, and then I don't feel well. I'm maybe angry or unhappy or physically not fine. Then I take a little wood and I'm going to make in the corner a little self-portrait.
And then the models have to go home.
Well, this was not. This never happened.
Okay, this is an extreme scene.
It's like, I mean, I work a lot of time. Most of the time I work without models, because I work so little, and several works. I have always a lot of works.
And those larger works. Do you feel nervous sometimes? Even nervous when you start those?
No, exciting, excited.
Yeah?
Oh, it's really. It doesn't make any difference if you have a small painting or a big painting.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Because it has the same energy, and I'm always good prepared with my composition. And another secret, I start working with acrylic.
That's a secret.
That's my secret.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
No, I won't.
Because if it's not right, if the composition or the forms are not good, I have a sponge. I don't let it happen.
No.
So the underlayer is always a good starting point, because it doesn't happen that it's not good.
No.
If you only follow composition and tonality, how simple can it be? You have to be really. It has to be 100% correct.
Yeah.
And if not, there's the sponge.
Yeah. Sounds simple.
It is simple.
Yeah, simple secret. Yeah. Thank you so much for your secrets.
It was my pleasure.
Great. Yeah, I believe you, because it looked really. Yeah, I saw only energy while you were focusing energy while you were working on this one, and that was really interesting. Thank you for that.